So maybe you're wondering, who is this guy and why is he a cartoon? Well, let me try and answer the first question at least. So ever since I was a kid, everyone told me I was going to be a therapist because I was that nice kid that everyone opened up to. But I thought I actually wanted to be a doctor. So I went to university and I majored in biology. I took all of the required courses, but for some reason, I kept on choosing psychology as my electives. I quickly realized that I was a lot more interested in how the mind works than proteins and cells and all the stuff that actually make up the brain. The truth is, I've always been most fascinated by people and social interactions. So, with each subsequent course I took, I love to ask myself, why do we think what we think? Why do we feel certain emotions? Why do we behave in certain ways? These were the questions that burned in my mind like a fire. So, I tried to take as many psych courses as I could. And the more I learned, the more I fell in love. So, even though I was still technically a bio major, every time I was in a psych class, it felt like a treat. After a while, I couldn't deny the fact that my heart was in psychology. So after my third year, I finally decided to switch majors and become a psych major, all so that I could pursue my academic true love. And in total, I ended up doing 7 years of undergrad courses in psychology until I graduated. It was a lot. And then, after a couple years, I went and did my first master's degree. It was in social and personality psychology. I did my research in cultural psychology, and I loved cultural psych because it teaches us that the way we think, the way we feel, the way we act are not necessarily the same for everyone because in reality, they're all influenced by the contexts in which we are raised. In other words, culture has a tremendous impact on our psychology. And as a second generational multicultural young man, this was truly eye opening. And if you want to nerd out with me for a moment, I did my master's thesis on attitudes towards children of divorce. In particular, I was interested in examining whether people may stigmatize kids of divorce differently based on cultural upbringing and religion. And if you're curious to know what I found, feel free to comment below. So, even though I loved research, my supervisor at the time pulled me aside and said, "You know what, Justin? I can tell your heart is in the application of psychology." In other words, we both knew that I was destined to be a therapist. So instead of continuing and doing a PhD, I actually went to another university and did a second master's degree. This time it was in couple and family therapy. I was so fortunate to be part of such an amazing program and to also have such an amazing group of friends that was my cohort. Shout out to Pigeon Milk. In my program, I learned a lot. I learned about taking a collaborative approach to therapy instead of being directive where I tell my clients what to do. And also, it taught me to focus on clients' strengths instead of focusing on the deficits or weaknesses or what's wrong with a person. And it taught me to not only understand my clients, but how to help them understand themselves even better. And most of all, I learned how to change people's lives for the better. It was truly an amazing experience. And finally, after so many years of university, I graduated for the very last time and I became a registered psychotherapist in the province of Ontario. Since then, I've been helping individuals, couples, and families with their mental health and relationships. So after I became a therapist, I launched my own private practice as soon as I could, and that's when I took on the name Justin the Therapist. In my practice, I got busy very quickly with clients. So, very soon, I realized I need other therapists to work with me to meet the ever increasing demand for therapy. So, I thought to myself, let me come up with a group private practice. And that's when I launched Building Bridges Psychotherapy. We're a diverse and inclusive team of therapists as we reflect the incredible diversity of the clientele in the Greater Toronto Area. So, you're probably wondering, why did you name it Building Bridges Psychotherapy? Why not something with trees or leaves or nature related? That seems to be the trend with therapy practices these days. Well, I picked the name Building Bridges Psychotherapy because we also moonlight as construction workers. Yep, that's right. We literally build bridges at night. Obviously, I'm just kidding. The truth is, we're named Building Bridges Psychotherapy because we believe that healing happens through connection. You see, Most mental health issues, I believe, are related to some sort of disconnection. So we help people connect with what's most important to them. So obviously, that means helping people connect with their families and romantic partners. But more than that, we also help people connect with their communities, with their cultures, their institutions, their faiths, with reality. And most of all, we help people connect with themselves. And I'm so proud to say that we've helped thousands of clients in the few short years. So that's how we went from a young, quiet, shy kid who listened to everyone to this therapist guy that runs his own practice. And I've learned so much along the way that I'm hoping I can share all of that with you. Thank you so much for watching. Check out my other videos while you're here. And if you're ever curious about anything mental health related, psychology related, don't hesitate to leave a comment below. Take care.